Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. Then today's episode. So, I see this a lot on social media where men are expecting something from women, women are expecting something from men. And I see that and I'm like, bro, I just hope that I'm never in a relationship like that where the girl, cause like my thing is this, I feel like that I'm a generous person. If I want to go out, surprise my girl with, whatever, I'll do that. But it shouldn't be something that's like asked. Like I like, oh, she's asking me to go out. Like, oh, can you go? Like, if it's somewhere, she's short on the money, she don't have it. All right, cool, I got you. But if it's on some stuff where she's like, oh, well, I don't want to work, so you're going to have to go out and buy everything down. No, that relationship is ending. I'm like 100% that relationship is ending. I'm like, I did not sign up for a relationship. Because the thing is this, and I feel like a lot of people lose sight on that, is that a relationship ain't about what you're buying or doing or any of that stuff. It's about the love. Like, if there ain't no love in a relationship, then it's like, fam, why are you guys in a relationship? Like, and I guess, like, yeah, because I feel like those relationships where it's like, oh, you gotta do this for me, you gotta do that for me, you gotta buy me this, you gotta cook and clean, you gotta, from both a man and from a woman, where it's like they're asking for all these things that they very well can do themselves. That's not a relationship, that's a contracted relationship. That's like, you guys have signed a contract, and it's up to you. But yeah, that's overall what it is. It's all like you're signing a contract, or you're or a virtual agreement, whatever you want to call it. Not virtual. Freaking, what do they call it, where it's like they not like it's not a virtual agreement, but it's like when they verbal agreement. I don't know why, like, the word verbal just wasn't, it was not appearing in my head. I'm like, I knew it started with a V, but it just wasn't that word. But anyways, but no, like, that's overall what it is. It's like, it's a verbal agreement where it's like, oh, okay, well, you do this for me, then I'll do this, and then it's, but that's that, fam, that's not a relationship. I don't think nobody in this world should be in a relationship like that. Even if that's something that you seek out, you should not be in a relationship where you think everybody got, or whoever you're in a relationship with, they got to do everything for you. No, that's not a relationship. Like I said, if you're into the contract relationships, then yeah, go for it. But if not, then yeah, fam, like, you shouldn't, that, and it's something that you shouldn't have to settle for either, where it's like, oh, well, I can't find nobody, so no, you got to keep searching. You have to 100% keep searching. Go on freaking dating apps and make it clear that you ain't looking for no relationship like that. But no, overall though, it's like, yeah, you just got to keep searching for that right one, and things eventually at some point you'll find them. But it's like, if you ain't putting no work in the search, then yeah, you can't really expect to go and be in a relationship or try to find a successful relationship if you ain't putting no work in the search. So it's like, you got to do that and stuff. But anyways, but no, like, I see that so much where it's like a girl is, or even, but well, let me start off with the guys, all right? Because I feel like, there'd probably be some women that are like, oh, why do you think, and I'm like, so let me just start off with the guys, but I will say what I need to say about women too. But anyways, no, I can't support a guy that's like, he's like, oh no, she gotta do everything for, like, some like Andrew Tate type dude, right? Like an Andrew Tate type dude. And then what's that one girl, she was like in the relationship with the basketball, we're not, well, no, she had a kid by a basketball, but no, like Brittany Renner, that was that girl's name. But those, I feel like those are like the key people that I am talking about. And it's funny because I think they actually did do like a podcast episode, and I think that's why like their names came to mind, because I'm all like, yeah, that was definitely like a match, like, made in things, where it's like, yeah, they met their matches. Like, Andrew Tate met the woman version of himself, and Brittany Renner met the man version of herself and things. So, but anyways, so like, for those that don't really know too much about those individuals, so Andrew Tate, I feel like everybody knows who Andrew Tate is. But literally the opposite of like every good man out there. And what's crazy is that there's women out there that will literally give him a chance to just see it. I'm like, and that's the thing where it's like, look, if you meet somebody good, don't pass them up to just, like, because like, oh, well, they're like, because in this stuff that I hear that where it's all like, oh, they're too nice, or they're too good to me, they're too much of a, I feel like that relationship if you're there, yeah, they're on some stuff where they're all like, oh, they're too good for me, and I'm like, I've had that been said to me, and I'm like, it's something where it's like, fam, just tell me I'm ugly. Like, don't tell me no stuff where it's like you too good for me, and it's like I feel like that's taking away a person's character, and then they're all like, well, maybe I gotta start being rude and mean and have to be like somebody like Andrew Tate, but it's like, no, you don't. Like, there's no guy in this world that has to be like Andrew Tate. None. Andrew Tate, if he wants to be like himself, then that's on him. But it's like, look at where that led him. You know, where it's like he's one of the most hated people on the internet. And yeah, isn't he going through some like legal stuff right now? So yeah, it's like that's what happens when you go in that lifestyle and that down that path and things. But anyways, but no, it's like it confuses me on how like a woman would look at him and be like, you know what, just maybe, and it's like, look, just because he has a fat house, nice cars, that don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. And I think, what, isn't there videos of him like hitting women and stuff? And I'm like, I'm not gonna say it's like that with every rich guy out there, but when you come across that rich guy where he feel like he deserves, like he has a right to women and stuff, Andrew Tate, he ain't gonna be nice to you, fam. Like, yeah, he's gonna be nice maybe to your pocket, but he ain't going to be nice to you as a human being. And I feel like people need to understand, like, there's, what's the words that I'm trying to like find and like piece it together and stuff. I struggle with these words, man. But anyways, but no, you just have to overall know like your worth in life. Like and the thing is this. People in this world, and I'm not saying this in like a disrespectful way, but people in this world, like, they're worthless, but at the same time, like, there should be no price in this world that should be able to buy you from whatever lifestyle that because if you think about it, the lifestyle that you was previously living before you came across some Andrew Tate type dude, you gonna really say that lifestyle was a lot worse than being in an abusive relationship, most likely? No, I'm not with that. I'm not with that. I 100% disagree with a relationship like that. Because I'm like, the thing is this. If it came, speaking for myself, right? And I come across a girl that's like kind of like in that category as Andrew Tate and stuff. And she's, well, yeah, I guess like, yeah, she's rich, got nice cars, and she's, buying me all these different things. Like I'm living in money term, like I'm living the best life possible for like, but I feel like a mental term, like, like mentally what's going on. Like I know I can't be living a good life. I know I cannot be living a good life. And that's the thing where it's like people really, like, the thing is this. I know there are like people say like money can't buy happiness. I partially disagree with it because I'm like, fam, if I come into a crap ton of money, I think I'll be slightly happier. Like I don't know. Like it's one of those things where it's like I know I just won't be struggling financially anymore. So I'm like, because I just feel like that's how this world is ran. It's ran by money. And then people think like, oh, okay, well, I got to find a relationship with money. But either way, it's like that. No, it's like my thing is this. If it came down to it, I'd rather struggle. I'd rather be in the position that I'm in now than to be in a relationship where it's like I'm literally crying to myself and probably the friends and family because I'm in this bad relationship. But I'm all like, well, she got money. And I'm like, that shouldn't be like the main thing on why a relationship gotta like work for you and stuff is because they got money. No, that shouldn't. No, I'm like, that's on some stuff where I'm like, you gotta really reevaluate your life and honestly have like, it's as weird as it sounds, you gotta talk to yourself about that type of stuff. Like you gotta think to yourself like, is this a good thing to be involved in? Is this a good relationship to be involved in? Because if you say no, if you're even thinking about that, right? And you're not thinking that you're in the most happiest relationship of all time. Like I've seen people in the most happiest relationships of all time. They don't have money like Andrew Tate. They're your average day-to-day people. And they are in the most happiest relationship possible. And I'm like, fam, if you can have that, all right, and you don't have millions of dollars tied to it, like that's a relationship, all right? But a contract relationship, yeah, that's somebody where it's like you're, dating an Andrew Tate type person and things. But it didn't get into somebody like the Brittany Renner girl, because she was getting caught up in some stuff and things. And well, I'm trying because I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't use her. I'm not going to use her as an example because I'm like, I really don't know too much about her, but I am going to say that there are women in this world that they feel like you need to buy everything for them. No, I'm like, if you have money, and I guess like in a way using Brittany Renner as an example, it's like, well, even if it's not the case, but it's like, let's say you are in her shoes where it's like you have a big social following. It's like, fam, you need to become a social media influencer. I mean, you have the following for it, but I'm all like, but if you're looking at me and you're expecting me to buy everything for you and do everything, no, that's not gonna happen. I'm sorry, but no, that's not gonna, and it trips me out when I hear those cases on where it's like a dude got paid like all this money in child support, and I'm like, fam, growing up, like I'm like, my thing is this. I'm 26 years old, all right? I feel like that if obviously if my parents didn't take care of me, I wouldn't be here right now. My parents took care of me. They didn't have to spend, 13, 15, 50, 60, $100,000 a month in no child support and supporting me, fam. I lived off of freaking what, fish sticks, chicken strips, what else? McDonald's fries, apple juice, bro. I was living the life as a kid. I felt like my life growing up was a solid life. It was good. And when I hear those stories where it's like a woman, she's all like, no, he making more money. He got paid more. He got paid more in child. I'm like, where's all that money? I know all that money can't be going. Maybe like what, the kids' college or something. I'm like, fam, okay. Now let's do the math here, right? Let's do the math. I actually, you know what? How much would it cost? Let me just see real quick. How much would it cost to go to a 4-year college? That's not how you spell college. I messed up. So there's like the average cost of attendance for a student living on campus at a public 4-year in-state institution is $25,707 per year, or $102,828 over 4 years. Out-of-state students pay $43,421 per year, or $173,684 over 4 years. Private nonprofit university students pay $54,501 per year, or $218,004 over 4 years. And let's just say, okay, so all right, so I'm getting mathematical on you guys real quick. All right, so let's just say 15,000. All right, no, 15,000 times 12. That's 100. That for 1 year, bro. That is 1 year. All right, and I'd imagine, so like, let's say, because I'm trying to think like school clothes, because I'm trying to think like, I remember my parents, they would buy me like, because I would use some clothes from last year, and then I maybe donate some clothes, but then I get me like maybe 5 clothes and stuff, 5 to like 7 clothes for that year. So that's like what? That's like once a year, and I'm trying to think like, and then what? A couple of pair of shoes. So that's most likely. So the shoes, couple of pair of shoes, that's most likely going to like round up to maybe be like $180 to $200, depending on what kind of shoes that I get, right? So there's that. So $200 shoes, outfits, 5 pairs of jeans. Let's say maybe the jeans are like $50. All right, so 5 times so like 5 times 50. So 50, no, that's too much. Jeans don't cost that much. No, How much hold on for a second. Maybe if it was like some Adidas, like, but no, I could just get me like a few pair of Adidas track pants and stuff. And like, I guess now if I was a kid going to school, but like jeans, let's just see how much like some jeans cost. All right, so like $28. All right, so like 28 times, well, yeah, 28 times 5. So that's like 140. And shirts so yeah, 13. So yeah, so like, yeah, because shirts really don't be costing that much. So 140, and then $16 shirts times 5, so 80. So it's like what, maybe like 200. So you're definitely okay. Then it's like maybe a jacket and stuff, and that jacket's gonna probably be like $100. So it's not, bruh. That's not even taken away, and that's just 1 year. That's just 1 year. If you're spending like 15,000, or if you're giving out $15,000 a month in child support, like fam, that's where you gotta ask that question. It's like, where is all of that money going to? Because by the time that kid gets into middles, or no, not even, yeah, most likely in high school, like right when he graduates, it's like the kid gonna have like, if all that child support money is to that kid gonna have like $1 million just sitting in the bank, right? So, and I'm like, and fam, like I just, in looking it up, it's like they said like it don't cost that all the way for like the highest, like a private like university or something, you're spending $218,000 over the 4 years and stuff. So and that's not like 218,000 every year. No, that's like what, all 4 years. If you go into like the highest how much, all right, so let's just say like the kid's really smart, how much would it cost to go to Harvard for 4 years? Harvard is like, in my opinion, like the best school possible, but I don't know, I could be wrong. So how much does 1 year, so tuition, 52,000, health services, 1,000, room rate, 12,000, student services, okay. They don't really have like a 4 year thing and stuff. Is Harvard a 4 year? Harvard found 1636. Dang, that school is old. It's the oldest institution of higher education in the United States. Harvard is 4 years. 6,000. Okay. What GPA is required for Harvard? 4.18 GPA. Dang, you gotta be really smart to go into that school. Does Harvard give out free tuition? So no, all right. So they really. So I'm guessing maybe it's like probably like a little over $200,000 or something. So it's like, even if you do go to like the best school, it's like, fam, you're like, you still got a gang of money that you can rely on. So it's like, yeah, that's why it trips me out. Like when that child support, they should do it where it's like, okay, it leads up to like all the way like to the average amount that you're going to be spending in college, but that's how much you spend and things. Well, I mean, but yeah, it's like, honestly, it's like, you know, the years where it's like the kid needs like, okay, food, clothes and all that stuff. Cause I'm saying like that kid by the time he gets into like he's 18 and so he or she is 18, they're gonna most likely have $1 million. If that child support is being given out. And I'm like, I guess I gotta learn more on how that stuff works. But it's like, but I guess the point that I'm trying to make is that you should not be relying on child support to take care of your kid. Like my thing is this. And I've heard stories like that too, where it's like the mom, she'll have the kid. No, that was literally a relationship advice episode that I did back in, I think it was in 2020 or 2021. But anyways, there's this story that I read on Reddit where the guy's girlfriend, whoever, had the kid, and then she left, and she just let him just take care of the kid. My thing is this. I don't care how much of a struggling situation that I am in. I am making sure of it that my kid is taken care of. If that means that I gotta sell some of my most favorite shoes, if I gotta sell like my content creating equipment, whatever it takes, I'm like, I am making sure of it that my kid is taken care of. He or she is taken care of, and they're not gonna be struggling. And I'm like, and they most likely they gonna see how tired I am by the time when they get into their adult years, and they're gonna belt. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, nah, I just can't do that to my kid. I'm like, I'm sorry, but I'm like, nope, gotta take care of my kid and stuff. So, but yeah, it's just there's people out there where they don't believe in that, and they're all like, nope, gotta have somebody else take care of my kid. And I'm like, there's people in this world. There's one of my friends, right? She's like I had to say like the main motivation when it comes to like a single parent and stuff. But overall though, I think like the other parent is involved in the kid's life, and I think that parent does overall do take care of the kid too. But like I see where she posted a lot on social media where it's like it doesn't look like her kid is having a bad life or anything. So that's why I'm like, when I see people like her, I'm like, it motivates me, and I'm like, if I like live like them, I'm like, I know I could be a good parent myself and stuff. So but anyways, yeah, it's like people, it's like, overall moral of this podcast episode and this relationship advice: be your own person, make your own money, Don't rely on nobody. All right. So, anyways, and that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. If you're viewing this on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're viewing this on a podcast streaming service, make sure you follow or subscribe, however it's set up. Make sure you subscribe to one of my 46 YouTube channels. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Instagram at TMossBoss. And make sure you follow my Facebook page at TMossBoss fan page. Also, if you are purchasing any tickets from SeatGeek, make sure you use my promo code TMossBoss. It will knock $20 off of your first purchase. And also, if you are purchasing any energy drinks or sleep drinks from Poggers, make sure you use my promo code TMossBoss. It'll knock 10% off of your next purchase. And if you are purchasing any controller covers, analog grips, for your controllers or whatever and stuff, make sure you go check out Fatal Grips. Use my promo code TMossBoss, and that will also knock 10% off your next purchase. So, and that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening, and peace.